Here on Stocks to Watch, we offer exclusive one-on-one discussions with company leaders to help you make informed investment decisions. I'm Ashley Berry, and we're welcoming Rob Bergmann, CEO and Director of Relevant Gold Corp, and Brian Lentz, Chief Exploration Officer and Director. Relevant Gold Corp is a North American gold exploration company focused on the acquisition, exploration, discovery, and development of district-scale gold projects in the great state of Wyoming, one of the most mining-friendly jurisdictions in the United States and actually globally. They're trading on the TSXV as RGC and over-the-counter in the U.S. as RGCCF. Welcome, both of you. Excited for this conversation.
Thanks for having us, Ashley. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Rob, I'd like to start with you. Perhaps you can start by telling us about the Relevant Gold Corp mission, key points that distinguish it from the peers in the same domain, and how does it really stand out? What makes it relevant?
Yeah, well, it's always important to stay relevant. My father always told that to me when I was a kid. But Relevant Gold, we're focused on the discovery part of the exploration process. And the reason we're focused specifically into the discovery domain is because that's where the largest return on investment can come in the speculative investment for mining spaces go. So when we look at early stage gold explorers, we're one of these uniquely positioned groups in the United States here in Wyoming, as you mentioned, an incredible place to operate. And we're focused on very large district scale projects. And what I mean by that is we're looking for some of the largest, richest gold deposits ever found on Earth. And we acquired 5 district scale projects across Wyoming that meet the criteria to host these types of gold opportunities. And our entire portfolio is built on science and data, and that's why we ended up in Wyoming. Specifically, though, it has connections to one of the most prolific gold belts in the entire world, which is the Abitibi Gold Belt. It's produced over 200 million ounces in its tenure. And we've connected the dots in the science that had Wyoming connected to the Abitibi gold belts when all this gold came into both of these systems. Later, then these things rifted apart with plate tectonics. And that's what put us into Wyoming originally. Since then, we've built a really incredible organization. We've got one of the most outstanding teams in the North American exploration sector, from the board level down to our boots on the ground team, a group that's created a tremendous amount of value. And in addition to that, we've been able to keep our corporate structure very tightly held. Brian and I are still the largest shareholders of the company. We continue to invest in every round. We truly believe in what we're doing out there. And we've also had some great groups like New Gold Inc., who have taken a strategic 9.9% position, Rob McEwen, who came in on our last round, as well as a large group of high net worth individuals. So all of this has really positioned us well to explore and discover out in Wyoming. And with our thesis connecting to the Abitibi, we have what we would call a discovery upside multiplier, with that ability to potentially have multiple discoveries across our portfolio.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, Rob, mentioning the sort of synergies with Abitibi. I think it's really helpful for people to sort of understand that. Brian, I'd like to ask you, you recently reported high-grade discoveries at the Golden Buffalo project. Can you tell us a little bit more about this as well as the next steps?
Yeah, so the Golden Buffalo project last summer, and fall, we had our first ever drilling, not just for us, but for the project. Had never had drilling done before. Previously in 2020, there were some local small miners that had produced a few hundred ounces of super high grade multi-ounce gold out of a 20-meter trench. And so this target was really, obviously really appealing for us. And so last year we drilled 3,500 meters at the Golden Buffalo project. The goal and the focus of that drilling project was really to understand the size and scale of the Golden Buffalo shear zone and the other shears within the larger corridor that we had identified at surface there. Obviously, we knew we had a high-grade gold at surface, but really what we wanted to understand through the drilling was, how large this system might be, how deep could we identify these shear structures? And so our drilling program resulted in 54% of our holes intersecting gold mineralization at depth within a variety of shears, including the Golden Buffalo shear zone, and our highest grade intercept of 83.4 grams per ton. So really high grade gold that we were able to intersect about 400 meters east of the surface trench. So really illustrating the size and potential at Golden Buffalo, not just the continuous gold grade, which is always exciting, but also the size and scale that we have there, which is something in orogenic systems that we're always looking for early on in the systematic exploration process. Really, next steps for Golden Buffalo is, we need to get another 5,000 to 10,000 meters drilled to really understand, okay, now we know there's something there, but what are some of the intricacies of the shear structures in relation to each other, the mineralization that we intersected at about 170 meters of depth? How might that string together along this larger corridor of about 1 kilometer that we drilled off last year? So really a lot more drilling to do there, but proof of concept was really exciting for us last year.
Yeah, it certainly sounds significant to me. Absolutely. Brian, what about the other projects? Can you provide insights into their potential and maybe your plans?
Absolutely. So currently within our portfolio at Relevant Gold, we have 2 main camps where all of our projects are within. So our South Pass camp, our flagship projects at South Pass are Golden Buffalo, which I just spoke about, and then Lewiston, where we just completed our initial drilling program this year. Again, this project at Lewiston had never been drilled. We did a bit smaller of a drilling program this year, just finished our 1,500 meter program. Again, more of a geology-based drill program, trying to understand what the scale is over at Lewiston. Lewiston had much more of a historic mining component, whereas Golden Buffalo really, in the late 1800s, didn't have the type of historic production that we see in Lewiston. So we were really excited to get over there and test that other flagship project this year. Results are still pending on the grades, but what we were able to observe in the drill core is large scale shear structures. Where some of our intersections are 10 plus meters of shear zone with strong alteration and sulfide mineralization as well in a few holes. So again, starting to check the boxes, really starting to put some of the pieces together at our heavy hand target at Lewiston. Again, never been drilled before, so results are pending. We'll see what the results are as they come in over the next few months, but really starting to check the technical criteria boxes. And as a geologist, it's been really exciting to see some of the first drill core coming out of Lewiston. The other projects that we have in South Pass, we have 2 other projects, Shield Carissa and Windy Flats, really a little bit earlier stage. We're in the process of bringing those through the systematic exploration process. Got out this summer and did some regional reconnaissance work, mapping and sampling to try and identify and see what might be at surface. All of our projects, as we bring them through the systematic process of exploration, we're trying to identify drill targets and then test those targets as quickly as possible. Our other main camp, I had mentioned we had 2 camps. Our second camp is Bradley Peak. We did the first reconnaissance program out there this summer. So really this summer focusing on taking a look at our larger portfolio of assets and making sure we can continue to grow them up through kind of our process to understand what the opportunity might be there. At Bradley Peak, we also found high-grade gold over 5 grams per ton in rocks. Also a lot more copper at our Bradley Peak camp as well. We sampled over 6% copper in our rock chip sampling program. more of a classic greenstone belt style of rock package there. Again, really exciting initial results. So next steps being getting back out there, really trying to refine some drill targets and get some drill holes into these targets as quickly as we can.
Yeah, to me, it sounds like, multiple projects, already significant discoveries, milestones already reached for your company. Rob, you had mentioned that you and Brian are the biggest shareholders in the company. How do you navigate the high interest rate environment? And do you feel like you have significant resources to continue with the exploration programs?
Yeah, thankfully, Ashley, we carry no debt, so we're happy about that. And with these high interest rates, it's been a bit challenging to finance projects. No doubt, a lot of juniors have felt that heat. But I think one of the unique things about us is the fact that we were able to raise some significant capital in the earlier part of this year, mid-May to June, which is maybe one of the worst windows to try to raise capital in the last 24 months. But we were able to close over $3 million at about a 30% premium to our share price, and in just about under a month. And so I think that speaks volumes to the amount of backing we do have, the smart money that is behind us, and continues to support us in our exploration efforts out there. And because of that, we're going into the end of the year, not only doing a significant work program, but we'll still have well over $1 million in the treasury as we wrap up this year. So we're feeling good. We've got a good financial position, no debts out there. Certainly we'll need to raise some more capital as we want to aggressively ramp up our drilling programs in 2024. And so stay tuned for that. But until then, again, the last financing at a significant premium to trading price really signals that I think we are undervalued in the current marketplace and a unique buying opportunity.
Yeah, and to be able to close that deal during that time is definitely significant and rare, I must say, from what I've heard from so many companies. So Brian, I understand that you were, just at one of the projects out there in Wyoming. As a geologist, what are the top challenges you face in the exploration journey, I should say, and how do you address it?
Yeah, well, the biggest challenges are, things that we can't control. Like you and Rob were just discussing, the current markets is a big challenge for us. Also that plays into things like drilling costs, for example. The only way we can really prove up a discovery, make a discovery, and prove up a deposit is through drilling. And so the higher costs to be able to accomplish that really limit what we can do on a season by season basis. Even though we have challenges, I think we also have a lot of opportunities within our group. One of the advantages that we have being our team, both the experience at the board level with board members like Mr. Ron Parrott and Mr. Peter McGaugh and Mrs. Sarah Weber, who really have a breadth of experience through the whole life cycle of projects in good markets and challenging markets. And so that gives us, the management team and the technical team, a really solid and experienced group to lean on in like I said, in challenging times and in good market conditions. I mentioned the team on the ground. Like you had said, Ashley, I was just in Wyoming and I'm heading back out there. We're a small group, but we're really focused on the day-to-day on the ground work. For this year's geology program at drilling at Lewiston, I've personally logged all of the core. So being involved in each step along the way has helped to mitigate cost, but also helps to really have a firm and super in-depth understanding of all of the technical aspects of the project.
Yeah, I would say a small, but certainly sounds mighty to me, your team. Both of you, I would ask any final messages for those that are watching, those that are considering investing in the company. Why should they consider Relevant Gold Corp as a stock to watch?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it goes without saying, if you're looking for exposure to gold opportunities, especially early stage exploration opportunities that have the benefit of discovery, again, where we see typically the largest returns on investments, then look no further. We've got the kind of a portfolio that allows us to hedge our targets. We can rate and rank these we have high grade gold, very high grade gold, and very large scale system potential. All of these things really equate to an opportunity for multiple potential discoveries. And those discoveries have links to the biggest known orogenic gold belts in the world in the Abitibi. And so again, when you're looking for high grade gold, early stage where there's near-term catalysts for tremendous upside through the discovery process, as Brian mentioned, we're still waiting on all of our drilling results from this year. We're really excited to get those back and see what they might hold. And we're just going to continue to chip away and drive the value into our shareholders because, again, we are the biggest shareholders and we want to continue to create value for ourselves and everyone else along for the ride.
Fantastic, Rob. Brian, any final thoughts? I like Rob's chip away analogy. That was great. Because that's exactly what you're doing, right? Kind of.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier the systematic process, so exploration, the way we approach as a data-driven, really technical approach, it's a systematic process. And, as they say, you can't put the cart ahead of the horse, right? And so it's really important for us to go through each of the steps to give us the best opportunity for continued discoveries. We have a large portfolio and we have a lot of opportunities to test. And so, as we look ahead, we're looking for in the near term, we're looking forward to our drilling results from this year and really how is that going to continue to bolster where we look next year. At Golden Buffalo, last year was the first ever drilling program there, had some early successes. Lewiston this year, first ever drilling program, small drilling program at Lewiston. We're really excited to see what the results are. And next year, I'm hoping we can continue to drill there, but also some of these new areas that we talked about, like Bradley Peak, for example. So, I think with this pipeline of assets and opportunity, but having this systematic approach really sets us up for a long-term success.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much. Rob Bergmann, CEO and Director of Relevant Gold Corp, and Brian Lentz, Chief Exploration Officer and Director. I think you provided some really great insights for our audience, and we're looking forward to sharing more milestones coming out of your company here on Stocks to Watch. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ashley.